Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, as we all knew what happened, Donald Trump has unleashed complete and total chaos in the country, throughout the world. It's scaring some people, and this includes some of his own supporters, also investors, as you're going to hear. So, on Friday, the Wall Street Journal, the right wing Wall Street Journal, they published an article and they said that consumer confidence is tanking because of some of the moves that Trump is making. So they reported, quote, the Trump bump in consumer confidence is already over. Tariff threats, stock market swings, and rapidly reversing executive orders are causing Americans across the political spectrum to feel considerably more pessimistic about the economy than they did before President Trump took office. Consumer sentiment fell about 5% in the University of Michigan's preliminary February survey of consumers to its lowest reading since July 2024. So this was based on the University of Michigan survey that was conducted last week. And it showed that more Americans expect inflation to rise compared to January 2025, so just a month ago. So in January, the number was 3.3% in the same survey. In February earlier this month, it was 4.3%. And they talked to a university representative who oversaw this survey, and this person told the Wall Street Journal, quote, it's very rare to see a full percentage point jump in inflation expectations. So this is not normal. And then Morning Consult, they conducted a poll, and their poll shows a similar dip in consumer confidence. So they wrote in part, quote, after the elections, consumers almost immediately grew more confident about their future personal finances, as well as business conditions. However, this honeymoon period has appeared to end. Shortly after the inauguration of President Trump, Morning Consult's daily consumer sentiment data began to dip. The decline has been precipitous and is on the path to erase the post-election boost noted above. And then Morning Consult went on to say that middle-income adults, which they consider to be 50,000 to 100,000 in income, also millennials are the ones who had the biggest shift in consumer confidence, that no longer feel as confident as they did, but before, or right after the election, I should say, and before Donald Trump took office. Rural Americans, though, they said, also began to reverse course. Those were their exact words. So across the board, people are starting to lose confidence. Investors also are losing hope, according to some of the feedback. So the American Association of Individual Investors, they released their weekly survey findings. They do these every single week, and they said that 42.9% of investors that they surveyed expect stock prices to fall in this next year. And then they said that this is an 8.8% increase in just 1 week. And then the group said this is, quote, an unusually high and is above its historical average of 31%. So, of course, this declining confidence is tied to the chaos clown in the White House. The Wall Street Journal spoke with a Trump voter, a guy named Paul Bisson, and he said, quote, I don't like the turbulence. I don't like the chaos in the market. His policies have led to that chaos. That will make the economy worse, and that's not what we signed up for. We've already cut back. There's no more cutting back to do. Kind of is what you signed up for, guy. You just weren't paying attention, apparently. But there was another Trump voter that they spoke with, a guy named John Schinkel. He is willing to give Trump latitude. He admitted that he was, quote unquote, a little nervous about the tariffs, but he said that he's still confident that Trump is going to reduce prices and interest rates. Why, I don't know, since that's not what Donald Trump is focusing on whatsoever. He's too focused on DEI and just BS like that, just culture war nonsense. But anyway, Schinkel told the Wall Street Journal, quote, I don't blame Trump for the price of eggs right now. No matter who's in the White House, I'd give that person a year to get their policies established before I start blaming prices on consumer things like that. Yeah, okay, really? Because you all blame Biden like the minute he took office. They blame Biden for everything. Anyway, even the right-wing Trump humpers over at the Wall Street Journal admitted in another article that, quote, beyond the potential inflationary effects of tariffs, food and gasoline prices have already ticked up over the past month. Yeah, and if you look at the details, they're up month over month almost 15%. So, yeah. And the funny thing is, there are new polls that just came out showing that Donald Trump has one of the highest approval ratings of his entire political career. He's at something like 54% approval. So this tells you that there are a hell of a lot of people who voted for him and then, or people who maybe even didn't vote for him, and then they just checked out and they're not paying attention to anything. And then, of course, you have the diehards who he could, piss on them and they would swear that it's rain and be like, oh, we needed that. Oh, our country's so dry and we need to make the tumbleweed green again. And so, yes, thank you, sir. May I have another? I mean, of course, there's always going to be that 30% or whatever, but 54% tells you that there are a hell of a lot of other people who are buying into this BS, who are not paying attention, or they're just so happy, as I've heard in focus groups, that he's doing something, right? I mean, this should be a lesson to Democrats that people don't really care what you do as long as you're doing something. Just have a spine, grow a pair, do something, show some activity, show that you're trying for the American people, that you're not just in the fetal position in the corner sucking your thumb going, oh, well, we would like to do that, but the parliamentarian said no. I mean, that's what it sounds like to the rest of us. That's what you Democrats, when you are incompetent and just ineffective, that's what you sound like to us. So anyway, but in regard to Trump, I mean, we all know the guy is just a menace. He is psycho. He's just a detriment to the country and the world. And I thought it would help, to just take a step back and really check to see where we're at, because we are now, going into the fourth week of his presidency. He promised to change things immediately. He promised to make things better for the American people on day one. So let's look at where we're at. Grocery prices are up, as I said. Price of gasoline is up. Stocks are down. The Russian-Ukraine war is still going, even though Trump said he'd end it on day one. And oh, would you look at that? It's way past day one. The Palestinians are being ethnically cleansed out of their own land, and Trump just approved more weapons sales to Israel. A bunch of people have lost their jobs. Funding for critical programs have been cut off without a plan B or any warning. You've got farmers who are not going to get money that they've already spent that they were supposed to be reimbursed on through the USAID program. Big Balls and the rest of Elon Musk's backdoor boys, his little boy band, have everyone's social security numbers and other private details. What else? They're doing a slash and burn with the government. They're taking away all consumer protections so that, if you get screwed over by your bank or a lender or credit card company or anybody really, the government is like, Jesus, take the wheel. We don't have any say, so we don't have any part of this. This is not our deal. We don't care. Do whatever you want. Do what you got to do. Corporate interests. So, wow, yeah, so much winning in such a short period of time. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on everything. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Links are below in the description box, by the way, on YouTube and the podcast. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.